Hi. Kind of a weird thing to be doing a video like this, especially for Dan. Um, but nonetheless, I'm going to give it a shot. I hope you guys are all having a good time, and there's a bunch of you around celebrating Dan. Dan's an unbelievable guy who's given most of his life to the Y, and everything he's doing, everything he's done for youth and volunteer coaches and the Y in itself is to be celebrated. So I'm happy this is happening. Unbelievably sad that I couldn't be there celebrate in person and bust Jan's chops one more time. I don't think anybody can do that like I can, so unbelievably sad for that part. But nonetheless, really happy that Dan's being celebrated and that he's going out kind of the way he wants to go out around people and those volunteer coaches and the people that if he's had a large impact on. So just want to give you a couple of thoughts on my thoughts on Dan. Dan is extremely passionate about what he does. He always has been. I met Dan in 2007, 2008 for the first time, and really didn't understand him. Thought he was kind of an old grumpy guy. Walked around the Y and didn't smile much, and summer camp would be going on, and Dan would be telling the kids to quiet down and all that kind of stuff. So really didn't get a chance to know him. And then as the summer went on, I got a chance to talk to him a little more and realize that he's a really nice guy and he has a sense of humor. However sick it is sometimes, he has a nice sense of humor. And got a chance to know him and started working for Dan shortly after that. Took over as a sports director or sports supervisor at Spring Valley YMCA, working under him. And my first real encounter with Dan, as far as working for him and with him, was we went out to Lion Fields, and I thought, okay, I put in a field before. I'm a sports guy. We're gonna go out and put in a field. No big deal. You need so many yardage across, so many yardage long, and we'll be fine. And it took Dan about 15 minutes to take all the stuff out of his truck to line the field. Dan had 4 or 5 roller tapes and lines and buckets and all sorts of stuff that we were going to use to line these fields. I had no idea what we were doing. He had jackhammers, he had sledgehammers, he had pretty much anything that you could dismantle a house with, the line fields. And then we proceeded to measure a field for approximately 2 hours before we laid down one line. And he had to make sure that every line was right, that it was the correct diameter and it was the correct center for where the middle was. And we both got done with that, with lining, with adding up our lines, and we both had to sit down because we were woozy and we couldn't see. We got vertigo. He had to drink a whole Gatorade, I drank 2, and we sat there for about a half hour before we could even get up the line to field because we spent 2 hours bending over and getting up and bending over and getting up. That was my first introduction to Dan professionally, and I thought to myself, if I have to be a sports director like this, I don't want to do it because there's no way in the world I'm going to do this every time we line the field. But I'll tell you that first time shocked me because I thought, man, is he really anal attentive to what we're doing? Is he really detailed? At the same time, I thought it was too much. But as we went on in our relationship professionally, I realized that those things made a difference. I realized that coaches won't come out and measure the field, but they do notice. They do notice how much care we put into the field and how well kept it is, and how even the lines are, and it makes a difference in the quality of the program. I realized that Dan was on to something. I realized that he had a point. That detailed and that anal retentive guy that kind of annoyed me at first. I realized that was all part of the quality of what we were doing. We built something really special. I feel there, with the sports programs and our volunteer coaches and those relationships. And I felt like it was because of the quality of the programs. And Dan is, obviously, in my mind, started that. And I adapted that, and we took it to Spring Valley as well. And at one point in time, our leagues were as high as they had ever been in that association. So I learned a great deal from Dan, and I was happy to work with him. As we got deeper into our relationship, Dan didn't become a boss or a colleague. Dan became a friend, and that's gotten closer even now with me being gone from Philly now for over a year and a half or so. He's just an incredible guy. He's taught me a lot, and he really cares about the Y. He really cares about kids and volunteer coaches that impact the lives of young people. I'm going to miss him. I know the Y's going to miss him. I know he's going to be in his backyard a day after he retires, and chopping down a tree with all those tools he was lining fields with. I know he'll be on a football field refereeing, screwing up calls. Just in case you guys know, Dan wears glasses, and they are as thick as plexiglass, and he still gets every call wrong. So I expect that to continue this fall too. There'll be a lot of disappointed high school coaches on the field that Dan's going to be on, but I know he's going to keep busy. He's in incredible shape for somebody that's 80 years old. I call him Benjamin Button all the time. He's aging backwards. So good luck to you, Dan. I hope retirement is as great to you as your career in the Y has. I want to thank you for helping me and mold my career as a sports director. I learned an incredible lot from you. Happy to have you as a friend. Was able to finish there and become a sports director down here in Philly, and took pretty much what you and I built there, and I did the same thing here. And in a year and a half, I've built some very successful leads at five of our locations here, and it's really the blueprint for what you and I did. So credit you a lot for that, and I want to say thank you on behalf of me personally, and I want to say thank you on behalf of all the volunteer coaches and the kids whose lives you've impacted. Hope you have a hell of a retirement, man. I hope you guys have fun and enjoy it. Thanks.